Good morning, Rabbi.
We are learning Mishnayos Nazir, Perek Zion, chapter 7, Mishnah Dala, Mishnah 4. Now we're in the middle of Mishnah 4, so let's just quickly read from the beginning. Amr Rebbe Lezer, Mishnah Rabbi Yeshua. Rebbe Lezer said in the name of Rabbi Yeshua, Kal Tuma min hameis shanazir megaleach aleha, any impurity from a dead body that a Nazir will shave for it, meaning he has to start all over, he has to shave his head, bring the sacrifices of impurity and start all over. Chayav aleh al bias mikdash, for those types of impurity of a dead body, is one liable for entering the Beis HaMikdash in a state of impurity, which carries either the punishment of kares, or he has to bring a sin offering. And any impurity from a dead body that a Nazir does not have to shave over it, you are not liable for that, for entering the Beis HaMikdash in that state of impurity. Of course, it's forbidden, but the punishments, the repercussions of that, a person not liable for. Now, Rabbi Meir, so Rabbi Meir argued, and he said that all these impurities mentioned before should not be more lenient than a dead sheretz. A dead sheretz, which is considered not as strict, a more lenient type of impurity. We know that if you enter the Beis HaMikdash with that impurity, you'd be liable for it. Says Reb Meir, even the things that a Nazir does not shave his head for, nonetheless, they are stricter than these sheretz, and therefore, for them too, you should be liable for entering the Beis HaMikdash in that kind of state of impurity. That's Reb Meir's opinion. The Tanna Kama disagrees, because what we have here is a halakha Mishna Sinai that tells us this law about the liability of entering the Beis HaMikdash, depending on what kind of tumah it is, whether it's the type of tumah of a mace that a Nazir shaves his head for or not. Okay, this is what we're up to. Now, the next part of the Mishnah is not a continuation of the first part. It's actually going back to the whole concept that we had before, or shouldn't one of the concept. One of the examples that we had before was that a quarter lug of blood from a corpse, the halacha is that the Nazir does not shave or bring sacrifices for it. Even though it is, from the point of the laws of Tumah, it has all the laws of Tumah to it. Under it, it's a 7-day impurity. If it's under the same roof, it's going to make you impure. You need the paraduma in order to become tar from it. But nonetheless, the previous Mishnah said that a quarter lug of blood is not going to be something. It will make the Nazir tameh. Why he has to purify himself, and then he continues his counting of the Naziris. However, it does not cancel the Naziris in any way. So this is what the Mishnah is going to continue on, and Rabbi Akiva is going to challenge that. Rabbi Akiva said, I made the following argument in front of Rabbi Lezer. Ma im etzem kasa'ira, shenematama adam ba'oyel. We know that a bone, we know that when it comes to a bone the size of a barley corn, that it does not make a person tamei in an ohel under the same roof. HaNazir megaleach amagoy v'amasoi. A Nazir will shave his head, meaning his Naziris is canceled, he's got to start all over again, if he touches it or if he carries it. That's the way we learned before. A bone that is the size, even the teeny size of a barley corn, it will make a person tamei if you touch it, if you carry it without touching it. But if you're under the same roof of it, or you make a roof over it, you act as a roof over it, all the different facets of tumas oil, the tumah of a tent, does not apply to the barley corn. But the bottom line is that, okay, so there's no tumas oil for it. There is no tumas oil for it. But if the Nazir does touch it or does carry it, he shaves his head. He starts all over again. So if we find that by a more lenient form of source of impurity, revius dam, a quarter lug of blood, shumetame adam ba'oil, that is stricter because we know it does make a person impure through through a tent. Should it not follow that a Nazir should shave his head for touching it or carrying it? It's a kal v'chomer, right? The process of kal v'chomer. If we see something by the more lenient, we should for sure have it by the more strict. And therefore, if by the more lenient bone the size of a barley corn, we know that it does cause a Nazir to have to start all over again if he touches it or he carries it. So too, so we should say the same thing by a revius dam, by a quarter lug of blood, which is stricter because we know it makes a person tamei through tent. It should follow that if a Nazir touches it or carries it, meaning similar to what makes a barley corn, but makes another tummy by a barley corn, by a bone fragment that size, and that makes him tamei if he touches it or he carries it. The same thing should apply to revius dam. Notice that it doesn't say that by the Nazir it should cause him to cut the revius dam should cause him to have to cut his hair if he's under the same roof of it. It doesn't mention that. It just says for touching it or for carrying it. That's because that if the basis of it trying to argue is a kal v'chomer, in which you're saying, well, if by the bone the size of the barley corn, it causes a Nazir to have to shave his head. All the more so, the revius, the quarter lug of dam, should do so, but it can't be better than its source. And the source, which is the bone of a barley corn, only does so if you touch it or you carry it. And therefore, if you want to carry that over to the quarter lug of blood, it'll only go as far as to say if you touch it or carry it, not if you're under the same tent of it. Even though, in the case of the quarter lug of blood under the same tent, you will become tamei. So that was Rabbi Akiva's argument. Made a kal v'chomer. Amali. So Eliezer said to me, Maza Akiva. What is this that you're saying, Akiva? Ain't done in kal v'chomer. You cannot make an argument. Let's call it a logical argument. When it comes here, you can't make the argument of a kal v'chomer here. That's all he says. The word he said to Rabbi Akiva, Eliezer said to Rabbi Akiva is, what are you doing here? You can't use a kal v'chomer in this case. Didn't explain why. Shabasi, where it says the word of Rabbi Yeshua, when I came and I laid out my argument in front of Rabbi Yeshua, Amar li Yafa Amarta, he said to me, you're saying good, meaning your argument from the point of an argument is a good argument, Elokeinu Amru halacha. However, they said this was a halacha l'Moshe Sinai. Meaning, Rabbi Yeshua explained what Rabbi Eliezer was saying, that the reason you can't use the kal v'chomer here is because we're dealing here with a law that is halacha l'Moshe Sinai. It is halacha that came to Moshe from Sinai. There is nothing written in the Torah about it. It's purely Torah Shabbat, purely oral law. And if that's what it is, then you cannot use a kal v'chomer or any of the other 13 forms of deriving laws from the Torah. And the halacha Moshe Sinai we're talking about here is, as they say, the law of a small bone is treated. Just want to see how they say this here. Right. The law regarding a bone the size of a barley corn is known from a halacha Moshe Sinai, not written in the Torah. Meaning in the Torah, you will not find anything about this bone the size of a barley corn. Yeah. There's nothing in the Torah about that. Nothing. There's nothing in the Torah about that. There's nothing alluded in the Torah about that. It's halacha Moshe Sinai, that size bone is going to make you tamei. Well, being that law is halacha Moshe Sinai, you can't make a kal v'chomer from it. That's the rule. Mm-hmm. Something that is halacha Moshe Sinai does not follow the regular logical arguments that we have by which we derive things from the Torah, and therefore he said to Rabbi Akiva, if a kal v'chomer was possible here, it's a good kal v'chomer. It's a good kal v'chomer. But at the end of the day, you cannot apply a kal v'chomer here because this law about the barley corn is not anywhere written in the Torah. It is pure halacha Moshe Sinai. It's pure Torah, oral law, something given to Moshe at Sinai, and therefore you cannot make a kal v'chomer based on that. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you.